Nick, I want to ask you about injury possibilities on two guys. Avante and the possibility that he could actually return on Monday, and then Devontae, will he practice today?
Yeah, we'll see. On both those guys, don't ever want to put a timetable. It's great to have Avante back out there working. He's looking good. And again, just always love the energy that Avante brings to practice. We'll see how things go today with Devontae. We have a walkthrough before we even get out to that. So I guess you'll see that here in a little bit. We'll see that here in a little bit as well.
How are things settling in with Mads week 2 and that shift?
Yeah, just building off of last week, but also have a lot of things in place to, from the entire season. So I think that's going well. Him and Sean continue to work really well together. Walk by their offices quite a bit. They're talking, they're chatting, very similar to how it was when their roles were reversed. So, excited with the dynamic right there, and just so appreciative of the defensive staff that they're working like crazy to get things going in the right direction there on defense.
What has stood out? 2+ years, you haven't had many staff changes on your own volition. How did you personally kind of deal with that last week?
Yeah, Zach. Those are hard. That's tough because you get to know these guys, you get to work with these guys. So to make a change, that is going to be hard for people and is tough, and it's tough on the human side of it, right? It's tough on the your emotions and everything like that. Like I said, I did what I felt was best for the team, and sometimes when you make decisions on behalf of the team, you have to hurt somebody. I don't want to say hurt, but it's a hard thing to go through. I would say it's similar to. The emotion that you feel with it is similar to when you have to let a player go or cut a player. And so it's not a decision that I thought was going to be easy or, to do. But again, like I said, I did what I felt like it was best for the team, but that doesn't make the decision any easier.
What has stood out about the team this week, Nick, as they try to get back on track?
Yeah, I think we've had a really good week of practice, focused on what we can control, right, and what we need to do better, and so good meetings, good walkthroughs, good practice. The guys are in a good spot and want to, obviously we want to get out of this skid that we're in, and so what a great opportunity with football. You get a great opportunity each week. Sometimes with football you wish it would come faster, right? Yeah, you got to wait a week, and that's why, and so we're all ready to get back at it, ready to play, and ready to go at it again against a good opponent. And so I just think the guys are hungry to get out there and show, and the coaches are ready to get out there and show that what we're capable of and what we know we can be as a football team.
At linebacker, neither Zach Cunningham or Nicholas Morrow practiced this week. I was wondering if you had an update on them, and if they can't play, how comfortable you are with Van Sumeren if he has to step in.
Yeah, so we'll see on those guys. I know they're both fighting like crazy to get back. I mean, I can't say enough for both those guys of how tough they are. Just anything they can do to get back, they'll do. And they've played through pain. They've played through injuries because that's how much they enjoy being out there. That's how tough they are. So Nick and Zach, I just can't say enough about those guys personally. As far as the guys, the depth that we have, I'm sure glad we have these guys. And Ben is, yes, specifically about Ben. He's continuing to progress. And you really see his athletic ability. It's on display, and that he started off on practice squad. We wanted to get him up because of his ability, his athletic ability, and how that can contribute on special teams. And now you're starting to see it play more and more into how practice looks in games. And so we're really excited about his progression and the things that he's done. And we're really happy with the room. I mean, the room in general, and even the guys that aren't in the room that are cross training in the room. And so I won't get too much into that. You guys saw some of it last week, but No, I just the coaches and the players that are in that room that are the depth players in that room have really worked hard, and we feel comfortable that they're ready to go with the plan that we have in this week. And if it's their opportunity, obviously we'll miss Nick and Zach, but if it's their opportunity, what an opportunity to go out and play against a division rival.
A few players on the defensive side said that some of the changes had to do with being a little more aggressive, particularly in the secondary. Why did you want that? And I think also when you look at Matt Patricia's kind of like record, typically he doesn't play super aggressive. Is that going to be contradict the way he does typically call his?
Yeah, again, you do different things with the different personnels that you have, and so with that, like I said, I did what I felt like I needed to do without getting more into. I felt like I needed to do for the team first and foremost, and then as far as with the aggression or anything like that, you do what you feel like you need to do to win the game, and that doesn't mean anything about Matt's past experience. Like Matt's a really smart football coach. He's going to use our personnel the way he sees fit. Very similar to I think if you look at my past or going back to Shane's past, like we hadn't run a system like we're running right now, and we did that because again the most important thing to me as offense or defense is that you're utilizing the players that you have. That goes all the way back to Larry Karras. I left Mount Union for a little bit, came back to Mount Union to interview for the offensive coordinator job, and he asked me what type of offense would you run? And I started to kind of, since you've been gone, what kind of offense would you run? I started to explain it, and he kind of smacked the table and he said, "You don't even know what the players here anymore. You got to wait until you see what the players are," and that's always stuck with me. And so that's the same thing. That's how I see it. We'll use the guys how we see fit, regardless of schemes, regardless of what your past identity is, because that's what you do as coaches. You adapt to the players that you have.
Last one over there.
Nick, as a follow-up to the linebacker question, how has DJ Elliott helped the guys assimilate, dealing with a lot of different personnel throughout the year, specifically this week, maybe behind the scenes what he's done?
One thing that you really see about our linebackers that really sticks out with Coach Elliott is they're close. They're a close group of guys that, there's Zach always wears chains. You've seen him. He got 50 chains on, and then now all our linebackers are wearing chains, and they're probably all his. And so, you see how close they are together, and I think that's a good product of, just what Coach Elliott has done in that room and the type of guys that we have in that room. So that's the first thing and then Coach Elliott works tirelessly to get the guys ready. He's had a lot of different things that have changed this year with the guys that are playing. I went through a very similar thing when I was in San Diego in 2016. It felt like each week we had a different receiver getting ready to play, and I know how much time and energy you're thinking about the opponent, you're thinking about the game plan. You got to get this guy ready to play too. And Coach Elliott's went through that more than anybody this year. So I know from experience how hard that is and how good of a job he's done. Getting these guys ready to get caught up to speed, getting ready to go. So great. Again, that's what really sticks out with Coach Elliott, the closeness of his group and how much work that he's had to do behind the scenes and how much work the guys have had to do behind the scenes to get themselves ready to play when they haven't been here the entire year.